Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up CSS variables specifically for building a collar system for your website. This is especially useful for anyone that purchases the upcoming Canvas starter site from the club or future starter sites, and as well as those that are building a MyListing website or any website really from scratch that doesn't have a CSS variable system capability in place. Those that already have a MyListing site that has been going for a while, up to you there if you want to do this or not. It is valuable if you are planning to add CSS to a good amount of CSS to your website in the future. Then it may pay to go back and redo all of your CSS in terms of the collars, based on what I show you here. Okay, so you just have to make that decision for yourself. So again, quickly, extremely useful for anyone who purchases the Canvas starter site or the CSS packages from the Canvas starter site, or those that are starting out brand new. Still useful for those that have a MyListing website in general though. All right, really quickly, I wanted to point out under the resources page on the MyListing Club website, you'll see this CSS package right here. It is the Canvas color scheme. This is a free download. So if you click into this and you are logged into the MyListing Club website, then you will get, this is a free download. Okay. What this is, I'm going to show you firsthand here what it is, but this is the color scheme other than everything except for the accent color that you define within the MyListing theme. It's everything else. Okay, so I thought it was really important to get this video out there ASAP for those that might be downloading the Canvas CSS packages or will in the future, or you know, of course, once this site is available for sale, then this video will be useful for those people as well. Okay, so again, it's a free download. Go ahead and check that out. Okay, so let's look at this. In the back end, I build every site with WP Codebox. Can't imagine building without it, especially for, with code snippets, websites that need code snippets, which is majority of those out there, unless you're doing something super basic. But anyway, with the Canvas starter site, new with this particular starter site, none of the other starter sites have this in place. I haven't determined if I'm going to go back and redo some of those with this. I got to think through that. But definitely, obviously, Canvas is going to have this, and then all the future starter sites are going to have this. This makes it super easy to hand off to customers that purchase this theme, or the starter site, sorry, or that use the CSS packages. But really super simple to set up. All we're focusing on is what I've highlighted on the screen here. That's all we're doing here. Okay, that's what our focus is. Nothing else on here. Really super simple to set up. Again, I showed you it's a free download if you want to grab exactly what's on the screen here. As I go along with the site, I may add to this or adjust this. Most likely I'll be adding to it instead of it won't be taking anything away, I don't believe at this point. But I might be adding to it. It's not a huge deal if I do, because you've got the gist of it, okay? This is really it, guys. So taking this away, okay, that's it. That's all there is to it. And then you define, so right here, that right there is what define, and then what you put in between there. Let me back out of there. What you put in between here is how you define it, okay? So you put hyphen, and then whatever you want to name your CSS variable for your color. I didn't need to put Canvas in here. I could have put something else, like just the letter C and then -white. You can name it whatever you want to name it, okay? I would just make sure that it's something unique. I wouldn't just put white in there. I would put something else in there. So as I've done here, I just call it the name of the site. You can do whatever you want. But that's really all there is to it. So what's the point? What's the point of this? Okay. So in the previous sites I built, the starter sites, and it's not bad. It just takes a little bit more time to, find the colors and change them to your branding. But what's super powerful about this is now when you get a hold of the site, or you're building a site for yourself, you define what your color of white is or your color of black is, all right? Now let's say, you know, 3 months down the line, you do some like accessibility test or something on your website, or your users complain about a color or something, they can't see it very well or whatever. Instead of going through all of your CSS, you know, and doing a search for the color and locating it and changing it, as you know, you probably have it listed a bunch of times. All you need to do is change what you define here. So whether it's, maybe you want to change it to from FF, which is pure white, to F1, F1, F1. You make that change here, and once I save this change, it is everywhere that you ever used that variable, okay? So let's look at this. Canvas white. If I just do a search here in WP Code Box for canvas white, you see here that it shows up tons of places. Without this definition of variable, you would need to go through all of these code snippets and find where you used that color, okay? You can just see how powerful this is. In a matter of seconds, I can change this color and it just goes all throughout the site and it changes it, okay? Okay, so with MyListing, if you've ever touched a MyListing website, or even if you haven't, I'm going to show you here. Under Theme Tools, Theme Options, and then General, you'll see this accent color here, okay? MyListing and a lot of, you know, themes, plugins, whatever, use CSS variables. So I am not introducing anything here that's going to overcomplicate your site, confuse you, anything like that. Add bloat to your site, nothing. This is already being used. So let me show you what I mean by that. Here we're looking at the cart page of Canvas, and if I inspect the page, scroll down here just a bit, these right here are color variables. These are coming from Elementor. You see this --E. Okay, so you notice they just didn't name it. This goes back to what I said before, not just putting the color white in there. You see like Elementor put an E there, so they, you know, it kind of differentiates everything. Okay, so Elementor is using CSS variables. Here we go. This is the MyListing. This is the accent color that they set up, okay? And you'll see how simple it is. Just that definition right there, just like I have right here. It's the same thing. It's just more colors are defined. Scrolling on down, you'll see WooCommerce has their own set, okay? And so on and so forth, okay? So I'm not introducing anything here that's going to overcomplicate anything. It's already being used on your site. Super simple to set up. All right, so let's check out the power of this. Again, under theme options, we have an accent color of this, right? So this controls, there's a lot of things that this filters down to. Once you set this throughout the site, it changes a lot of colors. So what I've done with this starter site is, let's see where I've said accent. Here, I'll just put, okay, you see it's all over it's in tons of these snippets, whether, and another little side note with this starter site, we're doing folders. So now all the light mode snippets are in one folder, all the dark modes are in another. So it keeps it nice and organized. But you'll see that the accent color is used all throughout here, just like the color white, just like the color black, or whatever, okay? So let's do a search here. Let's just pick something random. We're looking at the cart page here, so let's look at the cart page. I'm going to do a search, Control F in my snippet for accent, okay? So we see here, it's defined right there. We're doing a border in that color. Here we are doing another border here with the coupon code. And here is the third one that's in this particular snippet, which is the star ratings for the product, okay? So rather than going through and changing all the colors, like I said, all we need to do, since we called the variable of the accent color, which again, to recap, is what MyListing is already using right here. This is what we're calling in our code snippet, all right? So because of that, now watch. All we need to do is, let's say you get this starter site and you want to change your accent color. Go here. We're going to just change it to, we'll change it to purple. and save. Okay, and now let's go to our cart page. Boom. Okay, now there are some outliers here, and the reason for that, if we look here at, so hovering this one turns it to the accent color. So what we see here, this is coming from Elementor. Okay, so if you get the site, for example, and your links are set in Elementor under site settings to be that color, all you need to do is go into Elementor and change that. Okay. As you see here, all of these, the only things that hasn't been changed is the links. And that's another, takes a couple minutes just to load up a page in Elementor, edit the site settings, and change the link color. Okay. But you see how powerful that is. Let's go back. Let's change it to orange. Boom. See how cool that is? Yeah, really awesome stuff. If you really quickly, I'll show you dark mode just to show you how that looks. So I'll change 2 snippets here. So dark mode global and dark mode cart page. Let's refresh. Boom, just that fast, you now have dark mode. Again, these links are the only things you need to change, and that's done in Elementor because they are using their own CSS variables. All right. So really cool stuff. Don't worry about this in the top left. That's going to be addressed with something else. But yeah, really cool. You see how this takes hold and how powerful this is. So again, to recap one more time, whether you're building the site for yourself, for a site that's been going for a while, you're building a site for a client, especially brand new, set them up for success this way. If you're buying this starter site or any future starter sites, this is going to be in there automatically. Super powerful. If you've had a site going for several months and you think you're going to add more CSS in the future, then it may be worth it to go back and set up this system. It's super simple. On a quick note, for those that have had a site around for a while, just to show you how easy it would be to address this. So I'm going to create I'm going to bring up one of my favorite tools, which is, it's a free tool, Microsoft Visual Studio. So it's just it does a ton of things, but a text editor is one of those, right? So let's just say your site's been going on for a while, and you want to switch over to this. I'm going to switch all of this back to light mode because that's going to be the default mode of this site when it launches. Okay, so we're back over in light mode. But let's just say you've been running for a while and you don't have these variables set up. The first thing you want to do is set up your variables up here. Super simple. You don't have to have all that I've got here, but set up what you want. Once you've got that done, and let's say canvas white or whatever you call your version of white, you just go through all of your code. So I'm going to do a Control A, Control C. I'm going to copy all this code. Okay, pretend like this is your code. I'm going to drop it in here. And if you use a tool like Visual Studio Code or a text editor, most text editors have find and replace. All you got to do is just do a edit, replace in files. And we're just going to do a search. Let's pretend, again, we're pretending here. We're going to do the reverse order, that we want to change canvas white, all instances of canvas white, to just whatever. So FFF. So the hex color for white, FFF, or 3 of those. Now, this is going to be in the reverse order. You're going to do a search in your code for whatever your hex is and replace it with the new name of your variable. Okay. And then it's going to go through here and make that wholesale change across your entire snippet. Okay. So that's how you could do that. It's not difficult. Okay. It's just going through. All right. I hope this makes sense. I think this is super simple and super powerful. Yeah, I just can't imagine not using this going forward. It's just awesome. So hope you found this useful, and you see how the new starter site is coming along and how powerful and easy the transition is going to be to hand off to you customers. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.